Hi guys, welcome back to FOOTY with Polly, and let's do our UCL predictions for this week. As always, obviously, I'm going to focus on the English clubs. So Liverpool versus... I just realized I forgot to turn on my light. Okay, so Liverpool versus Real Madrid. And Liverpool won the last game against Villa. As I said in my analysis, I did not watch that game, like the whole game. I watched the highlights. But honestly, beating Villa is not easy. So we need to consider that. And regarding Madrid, they beat Barcelona and then they beat Valencia, so they are getting results, even though sometimes the performances are not like so superior, are not dominant, but they usually win. It's so hard to predict this game or this result because Xabi, the coach, he doesn't repeat his starting 11 often, so it's very hard to predict what he will try to do this game because we don't even know the players that will play. And for Liverpool, I believe there will be something very similar to what we saw against Villa. So a 4-2-3-1 with Szoboszlai at 10, maybe Vitz on the bench or maybe not. Gakpo, Salah, and then Ekitike. I don't see Liverpool going full aggressive, full offensive against Madrid, even though they are playing at home. So I would be very surprised if Liverpool started the game with 4-2-3-1, but with Szoboszlai as an 8 and then 4 offensive players. I can't imagine that. And in play style, I don't know if they will score all goals. They will be so offensive like Liverpool and Madrid. Maybe they'll be more cautious because Madrid is 100% in the Champions League so far with 3 wins in 3 matches. But for Liverpool, winning here is very important. Liverpool had some bad results recently, apart from the game against Villa. Guys, maybe a draw here. I'm gonna go 2-2. 2-2 makes sense because Madrid have been getting good results, but Liverpool are not weak. Like, we can't underestimate Liverpool, especially at home. So yes, that will be my prediction. So let's go to Spurs versus Copenhagen, and this one is a hard one. Spurs are not playing well at all, especially at home. If you think about that, it doesn't make much sense because in football you usually play better at home than away, but for Spurs it's the opposite. But Spurs are extremely pressed to deliver performance and results. But at the same time, I don't know if Frank can deal with the pressure right now. But at the same time, Copenhagen got 1 point in 3 matches so far. I believe Spurs are favorites in this game. So I'm going to say 2-1. Do I believe that Spurs will concede? I'm going to say 2-1, yes. Slavia Praha against Arsenal in Czech Republic. Honestly, guys, Arsenal are just playing insanely. They are very consistent defensively. It's almost irritating because it's hard to imagine them losing games as the way they're playing. Like the defense, the midfield, the attack, everything is working. Like the only thing that you could say is not working perfectly at the moment is Gyökeres. He's not completely adapted yet. But honestly, in general, the team are just insane at the moment. Like 3 goals conceded in the Premier League in 10 matches, 100% in the Champions League. So even though it's away, I am going to say Arsenal 3, Slavia Praha 0. Qarabag versus Chelsea, and Chelsea got a very good win away against Spurs. I mean, good for Chelsea, not for me. But anyway, Chelsea are just such a weird team because it's not like they play badly, they play well. And when they play well and they do not get red cards, they win. And like they have good options on the bench if they need to rotate players and stuff. So they always have, or most of the time they have fresh legs to put in the game and stuff, even though it's away. I'm gonna say Chelsea 3, Qarabag 0. Now City versus Dortmund. I don't know what happens with Dortmund, but every season they are just, even if they're not performing well in the Bundesliga, for some reason the Champions League, we see and they're like winning a lot of games. For example, in this case, City have 7 points and Dortmund have 7 points as well. But at the same time, there is a big difference regarding the squad. Like, City players are way better. They have Haaland, and Haaland has been scoring almost every game. The team play for him. It would be very good for City if they could win this game, because then they would have 10 points in 4 matches, which is very good because usually you want to aim for 16 to 17 points so you can qualify within the top 8 and don't play the playoffs. So I believe City will really want to win this game, and they're playing well. They have a good momentum. I mean, they're playing well apart from the game against Villa. That game was not good. But in general, I'm going to say City 3, Dortmund 1, because usually in games where Dortmund is involved, we have a lot of goals. So I'm going to say 3-1 City. And last but not least, Newcastle versus Bilbao. Now, I got a lot of hate comments in my video in my 11 versus 11 video, Tottenham versus Newcastle, because I recorded that video before the game, for the Carabao Cup game, and in my 11 against 11 comparison, Tottenham won 6-5, and after the game, Newcastle fans just destroyed me in the comment section, even though I believe they were wrong and I was right. But anyway, but then they had a horrible match against West Ham and lost 3-1 against one of the worst teams in the Premier League. But anyway, I'm not here for revenge. Let's talk about this game. Newcastle are good, even though I said they had a horrible match against West Ham, which is true. They are a good team, honestly. And in the Champions League, they have been performing well, apart from the game against Barcelona. Even though in that game they were not horrible, but Barcelona are just stronger. It is what it is. I don't think Bilbao will be very offensive against Newcastle, especially because they're playing away. I do think Newcastle want to win this game a lot, because then they'll have 9 points in 4 matches. And then if they can repeat this performance in the next 4 matches, they will have 18 points and qualify within the top 8. So I do think Newcastle will enter this game and play very seriously. And honestly, this season Bilbao are weird, honestly, because in past seasons, they were looking better. In this season, they're looking weird. For example, they have 14 points in 11 matches in La Liga, which is definitely not good. But at the same time, Newcastle are not performing well in the Premier League. But anyway, in the Champions League, I do believe Newcastle will win this game by a good margin. So I'm going to say 3-1 Newcastle. So guys, that was it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with a friend in case I've said anything useful. And see you next time. Bye.